Once a year in ancient Babylon, every young woman was brought into a public square. Not for a festival, not for a celebration. For a ritual so bizarre that historians still ask, did this really happen, or is it just a myth that survived 2,500 years? Today we're flying into modern Iraq, home to the ruins of one of history's most legendary cities, Babylon. A place of kings, temples, mathematics, astronomy, and stories that shaped entire civilizations. Before we look at the marriage auction itself, we need to understand the real Babylon. Because this city left behind thousands of records that tell us exactly how people lived. Babylon was a major center of trade and craftsmanship, a city of merchants, artisans, farmers, priests, and scribes. Life here was structured, economic, and deeply tied to written documentation. But the story of the Babylonian marriage auction comes from Herodotus, a Greek historian from the 5th century BCE. Herodotus is often called the father of history, and also the father of stories. Herodotus wrote volumes and volumes of stories about the ancient world. Because while he preserved many important accounts, his writings often blend fact, rumor, exaggeration, and dramatic storytelling. And this is one of his most famous tales. Herodotus claimed that once a year, all young women of marriageable age were gathered in Babylon's main square. It was an auction. The most beautiful women were brought out first, a crier announced each bride, and wealthy men bid on them. Their payments, sometimes large sums of silver, went into a communal fund. The next group of women, those considered less attractive or those with illnesses, were offered with dowries paid to the men. Herodotus believed this system ensured every woman found a husband, calling it a form of social balance and economic fairness. The story spread for centuries, eventually inspiring one of the most dramatic interpretations of the event. Enter Edwin Long, a British painter born in 1829. Long became famous for recreating ancient cultures in vivid, almost cinematic detail. He studied Middle Eastern history, traveled extensively, and painted epic scenes inspired by mythology, religion, and archaeology. But nothing captured the world's imagination like the painting he unveiled in 1875. Long's painting became the definitive image of this story, even though the event itself may never have happened. Modern historians overwhelmingly say, probably not. Babylon left behind tens of thousands of cuneiform tablets, legal codes. And not a single one mentions a yearly public auction of brides. Most scholars believe Herodotus misunderstood a custom, or repeated a dramatic tale told by local guides. Reveals more about how ancient Greeks imagined the East.